It's been really fun.
Morgan, goal!
Everything's just clicking at the right time.
It's an early goal for Alex Morgan.
Feels good when we're on the field. It's fun to play.
The chip from Marta comes for Alex Morgan. Touches it by Pierce and finishes.
Throughout the season, we've seen glimpses of greatness.
Inside for Morgan, and she buries her second.
I'm just really happy.
Alex Morgan is playing lights out right now. She is a scoring machine. The Orlando Pride are red hot. They're on a winning streak. They're above the playoff line. Things are starting to go their way. They're on the road this Saturday, but they're back home a week from Saturday against Boston. The playoffs are on the line. I want to see some fans out there. I want to see that place packed. Alex Morgan, can we get the place packed a week from Saturday?
Hey, guys. Yes, please. That would be so awesome.
Alex, what's been the difference for you when you mentioned during an interview earlier when you got back from France, you mentioned that when you first returned that you didn't think you were playing that well. What's clicked?
I knew it was going to be like a little bit of an adjustment because we have such a different team than last year. So many of the attacking players are different from last year. So I knew it would take a couple of games, but once it started to click, it just took off. And it's been awesome where we are right now in playoff contention, and knowing the final is here on October 14th, we want to be here. So we don't want to be sitting in the stands watching two other teams play.
What's the turnover in the roster meant for this team? Obviously, Orlando City and management, they have invested in the team. What's that meant for the franchise in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to have a new franchise in a league when you're trying to build a successful team the first year. And I think Orlando City saw that in their first year as well. And so we were kind of trying to play catch up, but I feel like this year a lot of pieces really came together. We got so many players inexpensively, which was just obviously in our benefit. Because they're of great stature. So it's just been incredible to play with so many different international players like Marta, like Alana Kennedy, like Allie Krieger, players that really just changed the game, and it's helped our team tremendously.
What's it like playing with Marta, who some people consider the greatest women's soccer player of all time?
Yeah, definitely. She's just been really fun to play with. She's been in the game for so long, but she's still so competitive. So just for her coming from Sweden after playing in the league in Sweden for quite a few years, I thought, maybe she's not where she was 5 years ago. And I felt like I was wrong the whole time. She's so competitive. She's still so incredible on the field and off the field. She's always joking off the field, so she's just a great presence for our team all around, and she's somebody that has been able to bring the team together, score quite a few goals. I think she's second in the scoring board for in league. I think only Sam Kerr's ahead of her. So, she's putting in a lot of work, and she's helped bring this team to the top.
Talking to Orlando Pride star Alex Morgan, also Team USA star.
Alex, I've always wanted to ask you this, or anyone that's been able to represent our country. When you have a World Cup and you have an Olympics, they both bring out that pride. Do you value one over the other? You've had the opportunity to star in both.
Value Olympics or World Cup?
Yeah, like the importance of it.
Yeah, when I was younger, I grew up watching the Olympics, just because the Women's World Cup wasn't at the level of the Men's World Cup. They didn't have really any TV rights, so I didn't grow up being able to watch the World Cup. So I grew up wanting to be an Olympian, and as I got a little older, I saw just how great the Women's World Cup is, and just the fact that it's a world tournament based solely on our sport. So I don't think you could beat something like that. The Olympics was amazing to partake in and get a gold medal in 2012. And I guess my answer might be different if I wasn't, a gold medalist. But I think that the World Cup is the top of the cream of the crop. It's the best thing that you can do in your sport. And so I would have to say the World Cup is it's kind of seen as that ultimate thing that footballers want to partake in.
I'd like to compliment you on something that every time I see an athlete, whether it's professional or even a collegiate athlete, that embraces the opportunity to be a role model. And I think that you've done such a tremendous job in that area. Is that something that you gave thought to when you were younger? Was there somebody that influenced you, an athlete maybe that you looked up to, or your parents that led you to believe that you could be, have an impact on the youth of America?
Growing up, I had this dream to become a professional soccer player from when I was really young. I didn't even really watch women's soccer because it wasn't available really to watch on TV or anything like that. So, I started this idea in my head when I was 7 years old, and I never really understood the complexity of that or just grasped what that really meant. Becoming a pro soccer player isn't just going out on the field and playing your hardest and showing off your talents. There is this whole other side of it, like you guys are talking about, just having that responsibility of kind of paving the way for that next generation and really seeing that there's so many girls looking up to you, everything you do, everything you say, everything you eat, everything. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. So I feel like I didn't really quite understand that until I got with the national team when I was 19 years old. And I started looking at, players like Christine Lilly and Mia. I never got to play with Mia, but just hearing the stories about her and how well she carried herself, and with Abby getting to play with her quite a bit, I kind of understood a little bit more of what it took and kind of how you can carry yourself in such a good way to not only have yourself look good and create this image for yourself, but also to make your team look good, to make your country look good. There's a lot more of it within soccer than just how you make yourself look, So I feel like just having your personality and your actions be reflected upon your team kind of changes the game a little bit.
Alex, real quick, a little rapid fire. What was the funniest, most interesting thing that happened to you in France?
The funniest, most interesting thing that happened to me, there was this girl that I'm not sure if she was in something like Girl Scouts or whatever, but she knocked on my door and was asking for €2 for this magazine or something. You know how that is here. And I just couldn't quite understand her. We just couldn't get on the same page. And this was in the beginning. I couldn't speak French at all. So I only had €1 at the time. So I wanted to give her €1 and just be like, good luck. I don't want a magazine. But she didn't understand. So she gave me the coupon or whatever. And I was like, no. And then she felt really bad. So she took the €1. And then later that day, I found the €1 back on my doorstep. And I was like, I didn't it was just lost in translation. And I feel like that happened all the time. But I felt bad for the little girl. I was trying to use Google Translate, and she was just so confused.
What's your favorite thing to do in Orlando besides watching and playing soccer?
Aren't
you into water sports?
There's so much. Yeah, I love going on the lake. I love wake surfing and just going boating, going to the beach, going to Wekiva Springs. I love doing escape rooms. There's so much to do here. I mean, I feel like we're doing stuff every day.
Last one. This is sort of a serious question. Now, you've done a lot for sort of, equal pay for women's soccer players. I saw one of your teammates retired last week at the age of 26 because essentially she couldn't afford to play anymore. To me, that's sort of sad. Alex, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. I feel like we're fighting for this every day, and to have one of my teammates retire and be making the minimum wage in this league, which which by the way has doubled since last year. It's you're seeing progress, but it's not quite fast enough, and so we're trying to continue to push and push and push. And with the MLS, with soccer in the U.S., they have leagues all over the world to be able to follow and to duplicate, the way that they did things. But I feel like in the U.S., we're the ones that are being looked at around the world. We're the ones that are kind of continuing to push the bar. So I feel like we just have a lot of responsibilities to continue raising the standards and creating that equal pay.
Last one, how fun was it to watch Sky Blue FC come back and beat Seattle last week to keep you guys above the playoff line?
Yeah, you guys, it was wild. We were honestly at the airport because we had just played earlier that day. We're at the airport just waiting for our flight, and honestly, this game was so exciting. Like, Seattle was up, and then Jersey was up, and then Seattle was up, and then it was like 90th minute, or 92nd minute, and Sam Kerr out of nowhere scores 4 goals, and she's just been having an amazing run with Jersey this year. But to see Jersey win it in the last seconds, and us continue to hold our third spot in the playoffs was amazing, because we worked really hard, and we know that we can't count on other teams to push us up into playoff spot. But the fact that we got a little bit of help that night, it was fun. We were all screaming in the airport. Everyone was wondering what the heck was going on.
Alex, we are squarely on the Orlando Pride bandwagon. Congratulations on the season you're having. Good luck. We hope you guys take this city to the playoffs.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah, and we'll see everyone out there next weekend. We can't wait to see a big crowd push us on.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Alex Morgan. Wow, what a